David, Patrick, Farrell.
What's happening, John? All good?
Social distancing podcast here in the van.
Always.
We were wearing masks before we got in.
Yeah.
We're all right now.
From the same household.
We're saying that, yeah, Dave's in my pod. Dave's in my swim pod. What's the story, man?
All's well, John. All's well. I've been watching these a good one and I really enjoyed them, so glad to be asked to be on. Thank you very much.
Deadly. So, myself and David met each other from swimming down P.O.E.M.S beach. David was arrested for sea swimming. Allegedly out of his 5k, and the only thing I'm going to say about that is when I seen the comments under your post about that sea swimming incident, when I looked at what some of the people were saying, I was just like, we are fucked. That's all I'm going to say. We are fucked. And I don't want to talk about the incident or whatever. I was like, where do these absolute retards live that they think
it was insane.
He's out of his 5k, so it's okay to arrest him? Retards. Anyway, we'll forget about that. Let's keep it positive. Yeah. What about day out in sunny Swords here today?
Lovely day. I'm delighted it's back somewhere again. Love the weather.
Yeah.
Go for the sea swims. No, I'm happy out all as well. The comments were funny. There was over 600 comments in that thing, and it just blew up. And there was 120,000 views on the video, and then my social media just went insane. And it's been good. Been a lot of good came out actually, to be honest. And still pending. The court case is still pending. So
yeah.
I'm up in July again. So since January, she keeps pushing back. But it was funny.
No, it's a strange one, you know. Hopefully things with this other lockdown that will be coming at us in October, hopefully people don't get as silly as they did before, and I mean silly with not living their lives, you know. So we'll see how this goes. But I was looking at town last night. Everyone was out having the buzz. Yeah, you know, living life,
yeah,
as should be. And if you're going, oh my God, no social distancing, no, unfollow me now and never listen to this podcast again. Never listen to this podcast. Life's about fucking living. Yeah. It's not about locking everyone up till nobody dies. Yeah, my
life hasn't stopped. We haven't stopped the whole thing. We just continue living.
Yeah,
as I have been and always will.
Yeah, no, same here. It's absolutely ridiculous carry on that went on. People are vaccinated. Just the older people are vaccinated. Just let people live their lives and get on with it. You know what I mean? That's the way I feel. Are you back working or is work coming?
I'm back on Monday. So I'm a barman, so I'm back in the Cock and Bull and Coolock from Monday on. Right. Interesting on the outdoors, and we'll see how it goes. I'm looking forward to it. It's 5 months since I've worked, so it's going to be interesting getting back to doing something. Keeping busy since I've been out, but no work, so this is going to be an interesting one going back to work.
Yeah. And you've been doing a bit of running recently. I'm
doing a good bit of running. I'm training actually I'm 7 weeks out of my marathon, first marathon, so part of the North Dublin Triathlon Club. We started that up last year. I've been running since, cycling. I haven't got the swimming part in, but the running's gone well. I have a 17 to do today, so I'll see how I go after this. But yeah, 7 weeks out from the full marathon, so buzzing for that.
Totally.
Buzzing for that.
And what's the swim? How far is that?
The swim, but we're not doing the throw. Right. When we do the throw out on the end of the year, we're just building up. So 1k swims, 2k swims, up to the trees. But the Ironman is the main goal. Saw Jer in here last week, so if he sees me, he can hit me up. But that'd be hopefully in the next 2 years. I want to do an Ironman. That's my main goal. Would be to do an Ironman. It's class.
No better man than Jer. They only swim up in Low Rock, and they do. I know a friend of mine helps him teach the swimming. Alan Turner. Alan Turner was national champion in Ireland swimmer, so he helps Jer teach the swimming, and his young fella Nathan Turner down in Clontarf Bats in the morning, so they will be family friends of Yvonne. Yvonne would have swam under them in Aer Lingus. They're bleeding savages, so if you swimming would be I'd be grand at running, grand at cycling. Swimming I would fucking struggle, you know what I mean? So if you need, get down to his early morning sessions, Jer, look after him, and there'd be no bleeding holding you back on that one.
That's a swimming as well you need to get into.
Yeah, and there's loads of them down there doing it. I'll do look at their early morning Instagram videos. There's fucking loads of them doing the training down there, you know. Which are that's the old crack. And when So you'll be allowed back out in P.O.E.M.S, hopefully July. Or
Hopefully July. The case keeps pushing back and pushing back. I asked for my. I'm actually currently out on bail. Funny enough, I'm out on bail, and my one condition is I'm banned P.O.E.M Beach, and that was January I got arrested. So July I'm back up, but it just keeps pushing and pushing and pushing. I asked my bail condition to be lifted since the current situation, the 5k legislation or guideline is up and over, but they still haven't lifted the bail condition. So I'm waiting for that. It's an appeal. I'm going, obviously not guilty, obviously that's the situation, but hopefully July we'll be back down on the beach. But it's given me the opportunity to go to different beaches, because I was kind of it's an interesting, because I was kind of had an attachment which to P.O.E.M Beach. I didn't realise I had an attachment, and I kind of affiliated myself to that degree with attached to it. When I was taken away, I was like, right, fair enough, I was taken away, now I can try other beaches, try different places and meet other different people in different areas. So I was just taking a positive spin around it rather than a negative spin. I can't go one place, but I've gone to a million different other places, so that's the positive of it.
Yeah. No, that's a good old state of mind, you know. And I was listening to another podcast last night. I know on psychedelics.
Oh yeah.
Jordan Peterson was talking about. He was interviewing a guy talking about psychedelics. Now, I'm a big proponent of psychedelics. Huge believer in psychedelics. Friends of mine have done ayahuasca, which I've never done. I've never done DMT, but I'm a huge believer in psilocybin, and you know, for opening up the mind and looking inside, you know, and getting an attachment to nature, and I would see the benefits in it is getting rid of materialism.
I love psychedelics, big fan of psychedelics. I've working with them currently, and I have been working with them. My first kind of experience with psychedelics was a mixture of drink, drugs, a lot of different things, and LSD. Before the LSD crossed my path, it was in the state I was in my life was insane. I was currently looking at a prison sentence. I was a lunatic. I was a typical football hooligan. Even though I was full of football, I was street fights, drugs, blah blah blah, and I was ended up looking at 2.5 years for a certain charge for assault on 2 guards anyway. But drinking drugs, I did that. The LSD crossed my path and just deconstructed the ego, deconstructed the aggression, and I just came at the right time of my life. I just literally changed from me being a certain way to football hooligan to full blown hippie-esque kind of thing, and just literally transformed my life, deconstructed me totally, really looked inward, and then they dropped the drugs. Then obviously I went back on the drugs, but that was all just a cocktail of things. But currently, then when I came back the last year, I'm working with psilocybin, DMT. I'm looking to do a P.O.E.M, which is a San Pedro, and then the ayahuasca ceremonies this year as well, working with them. But the psilocybin, I'm a strong believer in the mushrooms. They can even microdose them. They do really help, and they just look inward. I do a little ceremony set in my house. At the incense burning, shamanic music, meditation, take a gram or 2 of mushrooms, just sit with it, and then journaling. And the interesting insights of the journal, you really look inward and you get these profound insights, upgrades, downloads, and really look into yourself and really see where you're at and what's, you can't lie to yourself on the psilocybin, you know. You really look and you get the answers you want. You just confront with all of it. Subconscious brings it all to the centre, and you can then just look at it, deconstruct it, and look at exactly where you actually are. Powerful stuff. And
there's a few people I follow on Instagram that are huge proponents on it. An American lad that runs a TFR page on Instagram. Casey's an ex-Marine who served in Afghanistan, Iraq. Also was an advocate for American ex-veterans with post-traumatic stress, brain trauma, injury due to explosions and stuff like that. So he's a huge proponent dealing with trauma of psilocybin. I've also now been reading some stuff that the UFC are putting out. So the UFC, through the work of Ian McCall, was an ex-fighter with the UFC, on microdosing with psilocybin, helping with brain injury. So they've all invested in this psilocybin. My take on psilocybin is, if you're over the age of 25, you know, and kind of, you need to be looking at using. Doesn't matter who you are, what you are, whatever. You need to be reading up a bit and see what you're missing out on. You know what I mean? Because in this state that we're in at the moment, and the past few years of this materialism and run for materialistic things, everybody should be fucking using psilocybin. Every fucking body. It's I think society needs to take a look at itself. All this shit that you've been told over here is not fucking important. You know what I mean? Filling up on all this other shit to impress people. You need to get back to fucking what's normal. You know what I mean? And just going, nah, I don't sign up for this shit, you know?
Yeah.
That's my take on it anyway, you know?
No, the psilocybin has been massive for me. I've got some amazing insights, and even with the DMT as well. I had 3 DMT ceremonies, and the DMT ceremony, first DMT ceremony I was involved in, I was in a 6-week rough headspace up to it, and I was in a dark place. I put out a poem called Darkness into Light, I think it was. It was about being like headspace gone and just messed up. And the person that does the ceremonies reached out and he says, "Your head alright?" I said, "No." So I went over to his house, did the ceremony. And in the ceremony then I ended up bawling my eyes out with tears of joy of how far I've come in life. You don't look how far you've come in life, you only look at the problems.
Yeah.
I was sitting there, tears of joy coming out of my eyes. I was like, you know how far you come after, like in the last year you have to getting sober, paying back a certain amount of money that you owed, you have to making amends to all your friends, your family, you're working full time, you're living out. But you don't see these things, it's just constantly the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. And the DMT was like, you know what are all the things you've just done? The last year, like a year ago, you were sitting on a session, 10 grand in debt, surrounded by career criminals and lunatics, and now you have to change your whole life. So the DMT just brought it back to me. And then the next DMT ceremony I had after that was 6 months later. It was my birthday, and it was emanating, after the DMT ceremony, it was emanating love, the love of life, the love of everyone around me, and it was just amazing that I'd missed out on that link. And then I was looking out the balcony where I was at after the ceremony. I looked down and I said, because around my birthday, it was my birthday, so I was thinking to myself, I'm 31, I'm not driving, I should be here, should be this, should be this. But it's not like me, I keep it in the day. But around my birthday, it was kind of like all these pressures I put on myself. But after the DMT ceremony, I looked out on the balcony, looked out into the sky, and I was like, I've already arrived, there's no destination, I'm already here, this is my life. I'm surrounded by incredible people, surrounded by incredible tribe, and then I'm an incredible person, and I love my life, I'm already here, there's no destination, you're in it. And that was another profound insight of the DMT. It's just gentle reminders of like, you're here, there's no destination, the materialism doesn't matter, you're living, you're surrounded by great people, you're a great person, and this is life. That's what psilocybin or DMT or psychedelics has done for me, and they're for everyone. They're as you said, over 25 and you're shit together and you want to try it, I highly recommend it.
And you're looking to work stuff out, like, and people, sometimes people on recovery programs will struggle, you know, and they'll go, wow, psychedelics are mind altering substance, and it's a little internal battle. But I was reading some literature there a while ago about a letter. They've analysed letters which the founder of Alcoholics Anonymous, Bill W, was writing to Carl Jung, and he was talking about his experiences, his spiritual awakenings, and the place he was in at the time were using plant-based medicine to help these alcoholics stop drinking. So it's a tool, you know what I mean? It's not a tool of, like, you know, someone sitting around their gaff, you know, playing the PlayStation and bleeding, smoking loads of weed and doing no work and banging a few mushrooms into them, stuck to the bleeding sofa. No. You know, it's about being in a safe environment, you know what I mean? A good environment. It's not like going out on a night out and fucking pen, paper, writing down, doing a bit of fucking work rather than just being out with a mallet. Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
well, I had that conversation with myself because I did a 12-step program with AA, and I said to myself, I knew after when I started with sobriety, when I was getting sober, I said after 2 years I'll work with ayahuasca. But just happened to psilocybin crossed my path. I took them on Halloween, and then I had to have a real talk with myself about mind altering substances. Is it a drug? Is it not? I genuinely don't believe psychedelics are a drug. I think they're a medicine, and they're used correctly for internal work. Profound. It's amazing. I highly recommend. Phenomenal insights, and it's changed my life. The psilocybin has, and the DMT. It just really has opened up so many different avenues and doors, and really, it's psychoanalyzing yourself and really getting the answers that all the answers are internal. You know, I believe I've never went to counselling, never really worked for me, or anger management or whatever it may be. I went to, it was all internal. All the answers are there, and the psilocybin just opens the doors. And if you're willing to do the work, as you said, it's not to be abused or messed around with. I have a lot of respect for them when I take them, and it's for me to grow as an individual and expand myself.
Yeah, and I find with psychedelics, my experience is it's ego crushing. You know, you'd see how irrelevant you are. You know what I mean? How little you matter, and that's all good for the ego, because it's like, mate, you're not that fucking important. You know what I mean? Grab a fucking hold of yourself. that's the bit I like, you know what I mean? But it's becoming more and more, and I was talking to a friend of mine who is into supplements, and he was talking about this other company that he deals with. You know, this is a multi-million pound company, and they are investing so much money in psilocybin at the moment, coming out with all these products because they know it works, you know what I mean? And it is but it's to be treated like anything. It's to be treated carefully, you know what I mean? It's not about going out on a Saturday night and banging a load of them, fucking load of sniff and whatever. It's treat them with respect, you know. That's what if anyone's listening to this, that's what I'd say, you know.
Yeah, because everyone has their experiences from years ago of, well, I had as well, mixing cocktails of drugs, cocaine, ecstasy, 2CBs, mushrooms, LSD, all together. And then people are like, oh, they're just kind of a negative mindset because they have their own mindset of it. But now I wouldn't currently take a drink or a drug in the last 2 years. But I work with medicines, and the medicine is psilocybin, TNT, plant-based medicines, and that's where I'm at with it. And it's powerful stuff. And the people I'm around that are using psilocybin on the regular or microdosing, the insights and their life has just changed. Phenomenal. It's amazing to see where they're at and how they're working with it, and they just expand their knowledge and their spirituality. Everything just kind of keeps boom, 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 ticking boxes.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people that have used ayahuasca, and there's a split like 70-30. 70% of them done the work with the therapy, the counselling, the writing out things. 30% of them haven't, and the 70% are the ones that are different fucking people today, and the 30% are still loafing around kind of with the same traits, you know what I mean, kind of leeching from one drama to the next. So it's not about, it's about putting that work in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Looking internal, becoming better, keeping what's good and discarding what's bad, you know.
Well, that's what I got. That a lot of work I got from the 12-step program is the defects of character in the morning. I'm aware of my defects of character. I'm aware of deconstructing my ego every morning. I know it can be certain ways. I know if I don't do my program, which I'm meticulous with, I can go a certain way. But the psilocybin is just a total new doors opened up. It's like, it just really brings you back to, you're not that important. No one cares. Everyone cares about their own individual journey. We're all on a different journey, and we're all just trying to be our best. I get down on my knees every morning. I pray that I can be the best version of myself today, so I can be helpful and beneficial where I can. And that's what is for me. I really bring that in every morning, an attitude of gratitude. But the psilocybin is just blown it just to a different level. It's just like really being able to, if I'm the best version of myself, it trickles down and it just chain reaction around me. And that comes back then to the poetry, the podcast. If I'm doing what I can and being vocal and being honest with myself, and then the psilocybin and where I'm at, it spreads out and people are coming back to me and they're getting experiences. The amount of people I've listened to the podcast about with psychedelics, they've never taken psychedelics, they're now taking psychedelics only the last 3-4 weeks, and they're getting back to me going, wow, and it just, their mindset has changed. They're in a much better place. They're just like, this is after opening so many avenues and doors. And they're reaching out because I was honest about the podcast, but my psychedelic adventure and where I was at, and how I used to take them, how I take them now. And they're just, people are really engaging with me, and it's like, it's only the beginning as well, so it's powerful stuff.
And Dave runs a poem. It's a podcast. It's called the P.O.E.M.S. P.O.E.M. That's it, isn't it? M.S. podcast on Spotify.
Yeah.
It's very creative. I've listened to it. It's get on it. It's very good, and we need more poets.
Yeah.
We need more artists. We need more podcasts. We need more martial artists. We need more creatives. We need less bean counters.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
We need more artists.
More warriors, less warriors.
Yeah, that's it, man. That's it. You know, but you're talking about the DMT. Another mate of mine did DMT, and this fella's a fighter, and he did DMT, and he said to me, I'm never doing that again till my fighting career's over, because I don't want that nastiness and that evilness removed from me yet. Because me fighting will suffer. Because he goes, once my career is over, I'm going to take that again and do that again. But I just need this badness in me for a while.
Yeah.
You know, so that was interesting.
It's interesting. I seen you said that to Jerry actually about Nietzsche, about be careful what devils you strip out. Like, you do need that as well. You need that little bit of oomph in, you know what I mean, that venom. Yeah. It's interesting because when I actually got sober, I was very worried about losing where I was because I've seen people in sobriety, and I was like, just for me personally, they were a bit softer than me. I was like, I don't want to go that way. I didn't want to lose myself because I like being big, tough, kind of to a degree. I mean, it stands to you in life. But it's funny you said that with the DNT. You're afraid to lose yourself, but that's what it's all about. It's just being centered, emanate love, and just deconstruct the ego. The venom is that will be there, but it's funny that you wouldn't get it again until after the career. And
it's the other night this nasty person came at me in front of 3 other people, you know, just like spitting venom, just whatever the problem was with this person, you know. And I was just looking at her, and I waited for this person to finish, and I just said whatever. And it's 10 years ago, that would have been a different experience, you know what I mean? When somebody does that, it's like, I don't care, like, you're not important, I'm not important, you say whatever you want, I know what I said, do you know what I mean? And when someone's like offloading their shit on you, what I'm looking at is, oh, here's a little broken, insecure person that's taking all their shit out on me because they feel so shit about themselves, and it's like, that's cool, I'm not taking it, go fuck yourself, you know, and just move on with me life. Whereas if that happened 10 years ago, I'd be ringing cunts, do you hear what this cunt said? And fucking, whereas there was 3 other people that witnessed this, and they said, that person's fucking mental. And it's like, yeah, and they were kind of getting into it, and I was saying, nah man, I just feel really sorry for them, do you know what I mean? And just move on. There's people out there that want to drag you down to their shit, and I don't feel it's not like you have to get back at them. It's like, no, they're just broken, and just leave them off. Yeah,
you're on a different level when you get psychoanalyze people and you don't even get angry anymore. I've looked at myself. It says more about them when they're losing their shit. It's just like, they're hurt. They
say a little prayer for them, or wish them well, you know.
Well,
say, I hope they get their fucking shit together, you know, but don't be putting it on me, but I hope you get your shit together. That's about the ego death bit. Like, whereas the ego, everyone talks about, I listen to all these martial artists and coaches, they talk about ego death, you know, which is important, but they don't fucking practice it. Do you really need to practice it? Be nice to people, help fucking people out. Don't be giving it one and then doing something else, you know what I mean? Give people a dig out, whether he's fucking Johnny Big Balls or your man on his bollocks across the street begging for a few bob. Just fucking look after. We're all one, like, you know what I mean?
There's a lot of people that talk the talk but don't walk the walk, and that sort of things, and in a lot over social media, like, you see a lot of people saying one thing and then doing another. I'm just saying publicly, privately and personally, the exact same person across the board. And that's why the Instagram one, putting myself dancing or laughing and having a crack, but also that's just happy times. But also I put up the other day where I was depressed down my head, I was full of anxiety, and then the people that got back to me over that, like, I've talked to people constantly through Instagram. I think it's a powerful tool, Instagram, and they see me talking about depression, anxiety, but they see me dancing and laughing, they see me the full spectrum, highs to lows, and people can relate to me then. And then I'm talking to people now that I've never met, still to this day on Instagram the last year, that are going through depression, addictions, and they just see me being on the level with them. They just reach out, and that's the powerful part of Instagram for me, is that they reach out, they see that I'm real, and then they can actually relate. People have got sober by talking to me, not because of me, themselves, but they see there's ways and different avenues to do it, and there might not be alcohol and drug related, it could be depression, but they see me going ups and downs. Life is ups and downs. That's the powerful part of Instagram. I think it's amazing when it's used correctly.
No, it's good. I have a few people coming at me, like, outside and private message, what are you fucking doing this? And, like, I am, like, if you come at me like a cunt on Instagram, I'll just take it on board, and I'll just go, sound, fuck you, and just move on with my life. That's the way, like, treat me with respect, and you get fucking love and respect back. Say shit to me and disrespect me, I'm just like, fuck you, and move on, you know what I mean? And that's the way life should be. Treat people with respect, and you get fucking respect back. 100%. You know, that's what it's all about, you know. And it doesn't matter who the person is. Like, it doesn't matter. Fucking whether they're a street sweeper or a fucking multi-millionaire,
we're all
you're getting treated the same on fucking John Lally. I don't give a fuck who you are. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Get respect. You give respect, you get respect.
No, it's and more sea swimming.
More sea swimming, yeah, exactly. Powerful stuff. We got into the sea swimming at 2019, Christmas Day, and ever since then it's been non-stop. I love it. Powerful stuff. P.O.E.M.S gives me haunt, but I've been pottering around different spots now. The sea swimming is powerful. The colder the better.
Yeah.
The colder the better.
Yeah. I used to swim at High Rock a good bit when summer comes in. There's nothing like the sounds up at High Rock banging and just piling in. So when the weather is getting that bit warmer, I'll start spinning up the High Rock in the evening times, you know, because it's nothing better than 9 o'clock at night when it's nice and warm and you're in High Rock. The water's still cold, but there's nothing beats it, you know. But P.O.E.M.S is a special place, like.
P.O.E.M.S is the amount of people I've met in P.O.E.M.S. I met yourself, P.O.E.M.S, I've met Paddy down in Lower Rock, but the tribe down there and the community down in P.O.E.M.S, the people you meet there is insane. And I talked to Paddy about this, like, because the shelters, there's no barriers, there's no front, there's no, just you get down there, the conversations you have. We've had some insane conversations with people down there. First time meeting them, talking about their life, their trauma, everything just kind of just in the sea and just letting it go, like in the ocean, lean into the emotion, scream in the ocean, let it all out. And I have screamed in the ocean. You need it. Yeah. And it's powerful down there, but the sense of community down in P.O.E.M.S is insane. You know yourself down there, the amount of people you meet.
No, it's and I know a lot of people that I grew up with are down there, and there's some people down there that are just like, you know, they're on a level that me and you have to read books to and do things to just to get to. They're on that level normally, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're just well constructed humans, you know what I mean? And my personal thing is everyone should be evolving, should be reading a bit, should be trying to improve via like physical activity or martial arts or sport or whatever. There's like all these boxes in life and you should be ticking them all, but you cannot tick them all. There's always one that's going to be fucking empty that you have to fill up, and when you fill up this one, that one over there is suffering, and that's what it is, you know what I mean? You never have it together. So
the balancing act, we had a great balancing act there for a while. The Instagrams yourself, we were doing the 20-day pull-up challenge, then the 20 pages a day for the month of May, then there was 100 press-ups a day for 2 weeks, and then we're all just like-minded individuals all tagging each other in the posts, like making sure you're getting 100 press-ups in, making sure you're reading, making sure just connecting. Powerful stuff, that, you know what I mean? When you see 5, 6, 10 other people doing it, you're accountable to yourself, but everyone around you. It's that powerful stuff that the Instagram and them do them challenges, I think.
There's another challenge coming up for June.
Yeah.
The TRT challenge. Keep the eyes peeled. We're still on the 20 pages a day.
Yeah.
So I'm reading. That's a struggle for me at the moment because I'm down sea swimming at 5:30 in the morning with the boys, and I normally read in the evening time. So come 9 o'clock, I'm like bleeding. Yeah. I'm like bleeding something now. I can't keep awake, so I'm like 20 pages. I'm at about page 15, and I'm like
zonking.
I'm on my third book. I'm my third book this month.
Class.
You know, I'm just baiting through them. Like now, they're not big yokes, but it's important to read.
100%.
I'm a big reader. I can't and people listen to this podcast how much I promote books and promote reading, and somebody asked me there the other day about some great advice I got from this older lady I know, and she told me when my kids were younger, she's like, always read to them at night time. And I always read to Max and I always read to Christian at night time. You know, it's for any parents out there with world is crazy and you're driving them everywhere and they're doing everything, but when you sit down and read with them, that's where communication starts. They're asking you questions at night time. Just a couple of pages, you know, a couple of pages at night time. I found that solid advice when the kids were young growing up. I always read to them at night time, and it's a great little bond you get with them then, you know.
Yeah, I used to be always leaning into always physical fitness, train, and then you're lacking spirituality or you're lacking your academic reading, you know what I mean? You're just kind of focused on one, but now it's good. It's nice to have it spread out. You mean it's a fine balancing act. As you said, one always does suffer, and then you have to get back to that again. Yeah. But reading is important, just as important. And the rest is just as important as well as the training. It's a balance as well.
Yeah. And I didn't know Paul Redmond DJs in the Cock and Bull. You know Redzer.
Yeah, Redzer's a legend. I'm missing him in the DJ. With some cracking there.
Yeah, I see he's putting up some posts. I feel bad for all the DJs and the lads in entertainment at the moment. That kind of, but hopefully when they're going to be doing takeaway points, are they open the Cock and Bull or what's the story?
Outdoor, just the beer garden, it's all outdoors. They haven't done takeaways now since they've been
so
closed.
they'll be allowed to have a DJ out there, will they? Or
no live music. It makes no sense whatsoever. And then mask when you go inside to the bathroom makes more sense.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah. Bleeding. The Minister for Trampolines. Bleeding empty head he is. Empty head.
Oh, it's insane.
I'm not even going to mention his name in case somebody might follow him. He's an empty head.
Yeah.
Minister for Trampolines. Donkey. But anyway, it's a good vibe. I don't want to get myself wound up. I'm not even worried to that anymore. But so that's anything else you want to talk about?
No, just as you touched on
it's fucking Moonstruck.
Moonstock,
Moonstock.
If you haven't got down to Moonstock, get down to Moonstock. It's a powerful once a month full moon event. Paddy J. Douglas, good mate of mine. Powerful stuff, the Wim Hof breathing, the drum work. It's insane, isn't it, John?
All in our pods of 15.
Yeah.
All spread out throughout the beach.
Yeah.
Straight bus.
It's class. It's a powerful experience each month. It's funny because I met Paddy down in Lower Rock last May for the first time. Introduced to a friend of a friend, and he was talking about he'd only recently done his Wim Hof training. He was down there, his first time meeting me, about full moon was there. He was telling me he does this every month, and it was only about 10 of us last May. And then the next month I met with Paddy again, full moon. He's talking about events and then building, and a year on, and he did a night. It was the amount of people there was insane, and it's great to see Paddy really come into his own. It's powerful stuff. The energy down there is electric. Yeah. It's electric, isn't it?
And it would be secret locations, different beaches.
Each time,
Going to a beach to do the next one, Paddy. Going to a beach the next month.
That's well, they'll be global, they'll be international now. They're powerful. The amount of people are meeting down there for the first time, and it just keeps going and going and going. See people coming down, and it's all natural, it's all free. All they're doing down there is breathing and swimming. Do you know what I mean? It's not about, for me, so I don't drink, it's not about nights out or going for grub or materialistic stuff. It's just down to the beach. Bring a pop-up tent or whatever beach we're at, pop-up tent. We stayed the night the other night, like we had a fire pit going, we cleared up, we obviously brought all the rubbish with us. And you see the amount of people down there and not one bit of rubbish is left. Class. You know
everyone's tuned into the Mother Nature, cleaning up, taking away what you brought down, leaving that place spick and span exactly the way you found it.
Yeah.
To make it look like that there's nobody been there. You know, and
it's not just footprints, it's just class.
Yeah, everyone doing a bit of yoga, a bit of breathing, a bit of sea swimming. It's all good. Like, it's a great community. You know what I mean? I'm really happy to be part of it, and it's a fantastic community. Like, you know,
it's only going to get bigger as well. You see people doing different things down there. The beach is constantly people evolving down there. It's powerfully part of serious tribe. I'm looking forward to seeing how this summer will go with events and stuff like that. The collective mindset down there, everyone's just collaborating, expanding, just kind of go boom, 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 boom. So this summer is going to be knocked out of the park, I'd say, from last summer. So really looking forward to seeing how it goes.
No, I've even found, like, down there, I've been introduced to all these different people, and my podcast is growing and I'm getting more creative with it. And I'm not just it just kind of, I was winging it kind of at the start, and I'm still winging it. But I've now type of genre. People are my genre. You know what I mean? I don't care. Like, that's what it's about. Just conversation and talking to people from all different backgrounds and wherever. But it's grown because I'm down there, and because of things like the full moon. I'm meditating, I'm breathing, I'm swimming, I'm taking a bit of time out, as well as training and reading. That's what we should be doing. Eating well, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
all them things, like,
self-care,
you know,
all that up.
That's what it's all about for me, you know.
And psilocybin.
No, I tell you, psychedelics is where it's at, in a controlled, safe environment, with people that are experienced in it. That's what I listen to podcasts. Listen to Jordan Peterson on talking about his guest on talking about psychedelics. Don't just dive into it, you know what I mean, and you won't be disappointed on the growth and the experiences that you'll have, you know. So I think that's a good time to end that.
I enjoyed that, John. Appreciate that. Nice one, brother.
No fist bumps here. See that? Going on shakes.
Nice one, John. Appreciate that. Now, I love the show. I'll be tuning in. I'm always tuning in. It's an honour to be asked. Thank you very much.
No worries. Check out Dave's P.O.E.M.S podcast on Spotify. It's really good. Check out Dave on Instagram, David Patrick Farrell.
Yep,
on
it.
Instagram. And you know, sea swimming, bit of yoga, bit of breathing, bit of community, crush the ego, you'd be laughing. Yep.
Yep. Deadly. Was that